Hi everybody, it's Bonin Bough. I'm back with you again. Really just want to share a couple of thoughts that I have on topics and how they're affecting the overall media landscape. One of the things I want to talk about today is the debates. And I think that most of you probably had similar thoughts as you began to watch them unfold on social media. The other day I was talking to somebody, said something really interesting. They said, I actually didn't watch the debates on TV, I watched it on Twitter. And I paused for a second, I just thought, wow, that is a concept that I think encapsulates the entire user behavior trend that we're seeing around co-viewing and social TV as a whole. And that notion that I can begin to watch things on a different platform is really interesting. The other thing that they said that was interesting is when I would see stuff pop up, things like horses and bayonets, then it would prompt me to go turn on or tune back into the debate. So we're also seeing that behavior and the ability of Twitter to drive continued viewing experience and really affect what's on TV, as well as, I believe, probably affect our thoughts about what's on TV. And I'm going to come back to that. But the other point that we should look at is how social conversation is beginning to reflect true viewing behavior. So we saw the audience for the debate start about 67.2 million. Then we saw it go down to about 65, and eventually it was around 59, I think 59.8 million at the end. And we began, if you go back and you look at social conversation, we saw that same decline. So they're parallel, and we see engagement rates being parallel across the space. Of course, having said that, this was still one of the top 10 when you look at social conversation TV events of the year. So the implications that I believe we're beginning to see as a result of this is the ability for marketers to leverage platforms like Twitter to begin to enhance the viewing experience. And in some cases, we've seen from our own models that we can actually increase the effectiveness of our largest investment, of our TV commercials. So the question we need to ask ourselves is, what are the strategies? How do we become more deliberate around strategies that allow us to have conversations at the same time as big events and our media is running through those big events? And what should those conversations be? Should they be specific to the debate? Should they be specific to our commercial that's running? Should it be specific to a sports game? So we're going to have to begin to feel around and see what type of content actually makes sense, and how can we begin to judge kind of the impact of that. And one of the companies that are doing it really well, and I want to give a big shout out to Deb Roy and Bluefin. And what Bluefin's product does, not only does it track social conversation around all TV shows, but it also tracks it around ads. And for a marketer or larger marketers, you can begin to see, is your TV spot creating wear out? Are people tired of talking about it? Does this give us an opportunity to actually in real time use social conversation to swap in traditional advertising, because we now have a pulse in terms of how many people are engaged or not? So as always, it's less about hearing me talk and more about engaging with all of you out there. So the questions I want to pose are, what are the type of tactics that you guys are seeing work for driving kind of that co-viewing or social TV experience with consumers? And what are the platforms and technologies that you're exploring, be it Twitter or Into Now, which I think has had some interesting progress, or a Vigil? What are the technologies that you guys are working with to help bolster the effectiveness of your largest investment? So with that, I wish everybody a great day, and thank you for tuning in.